Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon, and I'm going to be doing a couple videos without Geeky this morning. She's out and about, and she'll be back hopefully later tonight or tomorrow. But I'm going to talk about Disney's financial situation. It's your daily dose of dismal Disney, and I did talk about this a couple days ago, how I said that the Disney empire, as we've known it, is falling. It's crumbling. Disney can't continue the way that it's been. They thought the money would never end, and of course the pandemic, the shutdowns have taught us that that's not the case. The money is running out, and Disney is feeling the pinch more than most other entertainment companies because all their eggs are in baskets that require people get together, people go out in public, theme parks, movie theaters, etc., and it's not looking very good for them. But it might be worse than what people originally thought. And this November, their earnings call, their fourth quarter earnings call, is going to be terrible. And we're going to read this this article by WDW Pro, who is a legit informer, was posting on the WDW Magic forums. And we had a conversation, said, hey, why don't you come over and write for us over at piratesandprincesses.net. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about some of the other decisions that Disney is making to try to claw back as much money as they can, including the fact that they're going to release Soul on Disney Plus on Christmas Day. That is the next Pixar movie, skipping a theatrical release entirely. Onward, its theatrical release got cut short. But Soul is coming to Disney Plus, and they're not going to charge you $30 for it. They're just going to dump it on the platform. They probably figured a lot of these movies, you know, like Artemis Fowl, they weren't going to perform that well. Soul, actually, I've been looking forward to because this looks like old school Pixar to me. The last couple Pixar movies were pretty flat. They were just sequels, and it's like we've seen better films. Toy Story 4 we did not need. We definitely did not need a Toy Story 4. We didn't need a Monsters, Inc. 2. You know, Soul to me looks like a kind of a spiritual follow-up to Inside Out. And I'm looking forward to this one. I like jazz music. So I've been looking forward to this one for a while. And, but yeah, the fact that they're skipping theaters altogether and just dumping it on Disney Plus on Christmas. Interesting move there because they're desperate to get people to subscribe to Disney Plus. I mean, even though they have a lot of subs, supposedly, we don't know how many of those are free. We don't know how many people have cut Disney Plus loose. And even if, in the best case scenario, as I understand it, Disney's still billions of dollars in the hole on Disney Plus. They put everything into this basket. And, if it doesn't work out, if Disney Plus doesn't work out, that's going to be catastrophic. But speaking of which, we're going to talk about the dismal Disney and financial crisis. This was written yesterday by WDW Pro. We talked about it a little bit on the Pirates and Princesses podcast, but just how bad things are. We've talked here and there about how bad things are, but it sounds to me like things are going to go from bad to holy shit bad come the next investment call earnings report. Now, they were supposed to have an investors day on October 7th, and they just quietly canceled it. They kind of skipped out on the investors day because I think it is worse than they're letting on. They laid off 28,000 people in the parks, and I think that's just the first of many layoffs to come, unfortunately. So this is coming from WDW Pro. Many months ago, I declared if Disney couldn't get Walt Disney World up and running by the end of summer, that meaning mid-September, bankruptcy would be a real threat to the company. Now in early autumn, Disney has managed to get its crown jewel going, but the rest of the company is in shambles. We're talking about Disney World. Moving toward 2021, Bob Chapek has major hurdles to keep the company intact in its current form. Consider for a moment that Disney has approximately $41 billion in debt at the moment. That's debt that needs to be paid, much of it coming from Fox. The single worst financial decision the Walt Disney Company has ever made is buying Fox. Fox is basically worthless. They bought Fox, they canceled a whole bunch of movies. The franchises that they were trying to get, X-Men and Fantastic Four and all, they've been run into the ground. Nobody cares. In fact, New Mutants is coming out on Blu-ray and DVD in November. It made very, very little money in the theaters. Of course, theaters aren't really open right now, but even so, nobody wanted this movie. And what we've been hearing about the direction they plan to take the X-Men in when they finally ever introduce them to the MCU, it's not going to be the X-Men that everybody wants to see, most likely. I'd love to see 90s X-Men, the Jim Lee X-Men team, in a movie, but that's probably not what we're going to get. That's debt that needs to be paid, much of it coming from the purchase of Fox. Some of that debt has been accrued over the past year to keep the company rolling during a time when revenue has been severely down, almost non-existent. And while many predicted the last earnings call would be the start of Disney in deep trouble, myself included, I thought that the third quarter was going to be disastrous. They were one report early. The truth is, this November will be when the vultures start circling. Now, I'm not saying that Disney is done for. I'm saying that Disney has steep challenges forthcoming. Let's take the situation in California. In that quagmire, Disney has played along with the most liberal state in the nation, doing their bidding, firing part-time cast members at the most opportune times for the California governor's ambitions, planning another termination cycle exactly when that will be best again, and keeping Walt Disney World in Florida at very low crowd numbers just to get the California parks open sooner. But even at massive cost to them, Disney lost the synchronous messaging and behind-the-scenes congruity with the California government to the point that Disney is now open in conflict with the state. They're in open conflict with the state. That's unheard of. Yeah, like Disney is just like, screw you guys, we have played ball. We have done everything you've asked us to do, and you're still telling us we're not allowed to open. Right now, most pundits predict that Trump will lose the election. But what if he doesn't lose? If Trump wins again, it's very likely that relations with China will continue to be strained. Even if Trump loses, it's not guaranteed that China will come around to behaving the way the US government would prefer. Disney has repeatedly been put in awkward positions due to their relationship with the Chinese Communist Party, to the point of employees in China having communist emblems on their desks within Disney management. This is actually true, as I understand it. In fact, the government was looking into it because they're like, what the hell? And we know that Disney filmed Mulan next to concentration camps and actually gave a huge shout out to the CCP. Should a China-America Cold War move forward, Disney may have to consider divesting themselves of their Chinese investments, even to the point of finding a third-party manager for Shanghai and Hong Kong. Regardless, Disney's friendship with a concentration camp communist party is beginning to really damage their optics, as if just knowing it's an awful idea isn't enough. In the short term, that might bring in some cash to help with their cash flow problems. The company has just announced they'll be releasing another major theatrical film on streaming. We're going to talk about, that was Soul. They're going to release Soul. So right now, Disney only has two major sources of revenue: Disney World and Disney Plus. Disney World's gates are being opened wide. Yeah, that is true. Disney is packing in as many people at Walt Disney World as they are allowed to. In fact, we were there about a week and a half ago. We are annual pass holders, both at Disney World and at Universal. So we went down just for a couple days just to see what things are like. It's the first time we've been down. We used to go down like every month, but it's the first time we'd been to Florida since the pandemic. And we were expecting light crowds, lots of sanitation. It was going to be a breeze to get in and out. And we thought, well, it's not going to cost us much. We already have the tickets, whatever. We just pay for the hotels. And we got down there and we're completely floored at how many people were allowed in Walt Disney World. Magic Kingdom was just like any other day in the Magic Kingdom. And in fact, it was probably busier than it was when we had last gone in February. And Animal Kingdom was so packed that we got to the parking lot and we said, hell no. And we turned around and just went over to Universal instead. So they are absolutely packing them in like sardines at Disney World because it's the only rock giving blood at the moment. They've got to start getting fireworks back, parades back, and more. They know that, and it's almost certainly going to happen either later this year or early next year. Disney Plus, on the other hand, is slowing in its content release schedule due to the pandemic. That is true. What's the only new show we have coming out, I think, is WandaVision, and that was already in the can. In order to reverse course on that problem, serious conversations are occurring about suspending annual dividend payments to invest them completely in Disney Plus to open the programming generation once more. So what about the movies? We're talking about the movies. Pixar and Disney Animation are still humming, but they've been slowed by being in California and having to work remotely. So here's where it gets really bad, guys. Here's the deal according to WDW Pro. Disney is looking at a Q3 2020 to Q3 2021 decrease of about $20 billion. So they're gonna, from this year to next year, they're gonna take a $20 billion hit. This is unsustainable. Disney desperately needs California to help them get out of the situation. They need to decouple from China while they can by using third parties to facilitate their China operations without the risk of losing real assets due to geopolitics. They've lost 60% of their viewership of the NBA because of all the social messaging they've been doing. Whatever your position is, it's a financial killer at a time when Disney can't afford it. But is Disney smart? No, we're learning that Disney actually gets stupider during a pandemic. It's like, guys, we have to make as much money as we possibly can. Okay, let's announce all of these new political initiatives. Let's announce that we don't have any money to pay our cast members, but let's spend millions of dollars retheming Splash Mountain that literally nobody asked us to do, and make a big announcement about it. You know, let's kick around the idea of redoing the Hall of Presidents, but we can't keep our own people employed. You know, it's like, I mean, I don't know if it's a multi-headed beast and they can't get their shit together or what, but we've got some people coming up with these blue sky ideas, the things they would like to see Disney do on the fly and making announcements about them when Disney can't even pay the damn bills. Like, they're just completely out of touch. I think there are people working at Disney that are completely out of touch as to where they are financially. And they're going to be in for a very rude awakening very, very soon. Disney will not be able to afford to take on these vanity projects and virtue signal to the tune of millions and millions of dollars very, very soon. They did it because it made them look good. They got woke points back in, this summer, but that's going to come to an end. I mean, we're going to see a leaner, meaner mouse for damn sure. And they're going to have to focus 110% on making money, turning it around, getting Star Wars fans back, getting Marvel fans back. I think Marvel Comics is completely fucked. I'm going to tell you right now. I think because there's absolutely no reason for Marvel Comics to exist anymore. The comic book publisher. They could just job it out to like IDW or something. And IDW is not even doing that well. But we see that they're bringing out Captain Marvel by Mags Visaggio next January or whatever over at IDW. I'm telling you, there's going to be some major changes soon. Warner Media, which is not in as bad of a place right now, I don't think, as Disney, even though they have a massive amount of debt. Also, they're going to be laying off thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Disney is not going to be immune to this. If Disney can't get their act together and make some kind of deal with California, then we won't just be looking at divesting from real assets in China, says Pro. Instead, it's going to be Apple, Microsoft, or some other major company with a huge war chest coming in to buy Disney without the parks involved. Either that or Disney will be groveling for some Trump-Biden dollars to bail them out. They already are. The time for games is over. Disney has major hurdles to overcome quickly. I'm going to put a link to this article in the description. Hopefully I can link to it. It's my own damn website. YouTube is really weird about putting links, but I will put this one out there and hopefully we'll be fine. But yeah, guys, it's bad. It's bad. It's going to get worse. Disneyland, we don't know when they're going to open. They're canceling hotel reservations through the end of October. I don't expect Disneyland to open this year. I'd be very, very surprised if Disneyland opened this year. And it might have to do, to be honest, it might have to do with the election, whoever wins the election. Disneyland might be a pawn in some political pouting if Trump does win again. And if Biden wins, they might just magically be like, yeah, it's okay to open Disneyland, guys. Look, Biden's already turning it around in California. He's already turning it around. We're going to open everything up. So who the hell knows what's going to happen? But the point of all of this being, that Disney is in bad shape. Bad shape. It is worse than they're letting on. They never tell people how bad it really is, but you can tell by the numbers, the layoffs. You know, when they lay off, that means things are not good. And there are going to be tons more layoffs coming in different divisions of Disney. You're probably going to see them sell off some assets. Personally, I'd love to see them sell off Lucasfilm to somebody who actually gives a shit about it, but I don't see that happening at all. They're going to try to bleed money out of Star Wars, even though they've killed the golden goose at this point. They've absolutely destroyed that franchise. So I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk to you guys later.